When you first log into SafeGuard, this is the screen that you're going to be greeted by. So you can see in the center of the screen we have a welcome message, and underneath this you have your notification center. So if anything within the system is going to expire, such as accreditations or insurance documents, something like that, then you're going to get a notification in this center here. You can read these, mark them as red, which will make the notification up here disappear, but it will stay within the notification center. If you want to get rid of it completely, you can just click on the X there and that will go completely. Underneath the notification center, you've got the main menu features, and this is also replicated along the sidebar here, so you can navigate to any of these sections from wherever you are within the system. One of the first things that I want you to do when you get the system is come down to this area down here and press on the little drop down and then go to your profile. In here, I just want you to make sure that your name, your company name is up to date, because this will be pulled from this location to use on the documents that you download. You can also fill in your address, phone number, things like that, and also update your company logo. Again, this will be put onto the downloaded documents, so they're branded to your company. So just make sure you've got a good high quality logo in there. And then the next thing I want you to do is change your password. All of the passwords for your system will be generated as the default. So it's really important that you come in here and you change that password right away. The first section of the system that we're going to cover is the vault. So the vault is really just a storage area where you can store all of your documentation. In the policies folder, you're going to find the policies that we've already created for your company. And within the SafeGuard Pro folder, if you're a SafeGuard Pro member, you will find all of your PAS 91 and Common Assessment Standard documents within this area. The rest of the folders in here are all empty. These are designed for you to use to save your documents in, and we've just called them these names suggested for what you can put in there. You've also got a miscellaneous where you can just stick any other little bits and pieces. Looking at the accidents and incidents section, when you load this up, you're going to see here the number of days since your last incident. So if there's nothing recorded on the system at the moment, as there is in this profile, this is just going to default to the day that your system was set up. And then here you can see your 5-year statistics. So again, once you've started populating things into the system, this will populate into here. If you want to download that, you can just use this button here. Underneath this, we've got our accident and our incident reporting. So it's nice and easy to use. Whichever it is that you want to report, just click on report, fill out all of the details about the people involved, what happened. You've also got a section here that will suggest whether the accident or incident may be RID or reportable. This is only a suggestion, so just double check this. And then you're going to finish off with putting on your information in here. Once you've done that, then this accident report will go into the active report section. This is required if you have further investigation to do, or if we have further investigation to do. You'll see this lives in the active reports. Once the investigation has been fully finished, it'll then live within the completed section of the reports here. We're going to look into the employees section now, because the data that's held within this section will be used to populate other sections throughout your profile. So this is one of the first things that you should do, really. Come into the employees section, make sure that all of your employees are uploaded and that all the details are correct for them. So after the employee name, we can see their job role, their employment type. This is whether they're direct or labour only. And then the first icon that we can actually click on is this induction one here. So if we click on this, you can see we've got some sections along the top. So we'll complete all these to induct our employees. And then at the end, the employee can sign this off, put in the manager's name who conducted the induction, and then mark it as complete. We can do this for each of our employees. The next icon across is the training folder, or the training bin, as we often refer to it. In here, you want to upload any certificates that are relevant to this employee. This is going to be used later in the training section. We can produce a training matrix from this. So upload every certificate that the employee holds into this area here, and then this will populate your training matrix. Moving along, we have the access tab. So we can provide users with access to the SafeGuard system, and there's 3 levels of user. There's admin, supervisor, and user. Admin has full access to everything within the system, so they're going to have access to potentially sensitive details, employee inductions and things like that, so consider who you give full access to. Supervisor and user are essentially the same because it's a baseline permission, and then you can add additional permissions as required in there. But if somebody's a supervisor and you want them to have that title within the system, then you would select supervisor. For your end user, just select user. And then, as I say, if you've got one particular employee that does all of your RAMs, for example, you can assign them that additional permission and then create the account. Moving on, we have the little pencil symbol for editing. In here, you can change the employee name, their job role, and their employment type, just to make sure everything is correct and up to date. And then finally, if you wish, you can delete the employees. To add employees to your system, if we've already set this up for you, you're probably just going to want to do this one by one with the Add Employee button here. But if you are starting from scratch, you can complete the register and then just click on Import Register. The AI will extract all of the information from that register and assign all your employees within here. The RAMS Builder section is one that I know a lot of people are particularly interested in using, and it is one that can save you a ton of time. So within here, we're going to go on Create RAMS. You'll put in your project name. For here, we'll just put test, site address, fill out all the details for your project essentially within this section, and click Next. We're then going to get some questions pop up, so this is going to help populate the content of your RAMS document. So just click whichever apply on here and Next. Now with the work description, the more detail you can put in here, the better your RAMS is going to be from the outset. So just spend a little bit of time using this area to really get in some detail about the work that you're going to be conducting. So the prompt I've used here is a really simple one, but you'll see even just with a simple prompt, we're going to get a pretty good set of RAMs right from the outset. So once you've typed in your prompt, just press Next, and then you can select which of the employees within your company will be working on this project. This is why it's important that we complete that employees section first. Click Next, and then it's going to generate and review the RAMs. So that took about 20 or 25 seconds, and we can see that it's now generated our RAMs. So the first thing that we're going to come across is the risk assessment. All of the hazards associated with this task are going to be listed down the left-hand side here. So just make sure that they are all relevant and that the control procedures that the AI has suggested is suitable for that hazard. You can see that we've got the inherent risk and then the residual risk, which is left over after the control measures. We can edit any of these if we don't agree with it by changing the hazard description, the control procedures, or the residual risk, and then just click Save on there. If you want to add your own hazards in that the AI hasn't suggested, you can do that by clicking Add Hazard up here and filling out those details. And then moving along to the method statement. So you can see it's given us a scope of works and then a step-by-step instruction there. Again, just read through this, make sure that it's all relevant to the type of work that you're going to be conducting. General precautions can be toggled on and off. So if these are relevant, leave them toggled on. If they're not relevant, for example, we're not going to have any, material handling on this particular task, you can just switch them off. And then there's some others down below to do with working at height, vehicle plant. If you want to add any custom precautions, you can do that as well by clicking the Add Custom button here. Safety details, we're going to see which PPE is required for this task, and you can just toggle these on and off as you need them. And then if you want to assign any COSHH assessments to this particular task, you will have had to have completed these already within the COSHH section, which we'll get to shortly. But you can just tick these and that'll add this COSHH assessment to your risk assessment as well. Finally, you're going to sign it off, change the date if you need to, and save the signature, save the RAMs. And then we can see we've got our test RAMs here in the RAMS Builder section now. If we download this as a PDF, I can show you exactly what it looks like. And here's our full RAMS document. So you can see it's put our company logo and name on there, and then all of the details that we entered earlier. And then at the bottom here, you can see which COSHH assessments were attached. We only put the WD-40 one on there. So under the signature box, we've got our COSHH risk assessment. And that's the end of the RAMS. Within the Health and Safety Advisor section, you have a chatbot. So this chatbot it's similar to ChatGPT, OpenAI, but this chatbot has been trained specifically on UK health and safety legislation, so it will give you better responses than what you would get from a normal off-the-shelf AI. So you can chat with this, you can ask it any questions that you want. It can produce basic documents for you as well. Say, for example, you're asked by a contractor to provide a complaints procedure, for example. You could ask this chatbot to produce you a simple complaints procedure and it'll do that for you. Also, what we're finding works really well here is when you're completing your RAMS and you have to give it an overview of the work that you'll be conducting, you can have a chat with this chatbot, Simon, about the type of work and then ask it to provide you with a prompt to be able to build a RAMS document. So you can have an informal chat with it. It'll sort of piece all that information together and give you a nice prompt to put into your RAMS builder. So that's a really good feature as well. The COSHH assessment tool is another really good one for saving time. So all you're going to do here when you need to produce a COSHH assessment is find the material safety data sheet for that substance. They're generally available online from the provider's website, or when you purchase the product at the point of purchase, you should be able to get a material safety data sheet as well. It's quite important here that you get an original copy. If you try to take a scanned document or something like that, the AI can struggle with it sometimes. So I definitely recommend downloading the original MSDS from the supplier's website. So I've just uploaded a material safety data sheet for bleach as an example. So the AI is going to extract the data from this MSDS and then produce that into a COSHH assessment for us. So that's taken about 30 seconds and it's pulled all the information from that MSDS out for us and put it into our COSHH assessment template. So we want to change this COSHH reference to whatever filing system that we're using. You can change that to just any sort of unique number and then just have this screen open with your MSDS at the same time and just compare the two to make sure that it has pulled across all the correct information, but it normally does. So we've got our hazard statements, precautionary statements, pictograms, and the routes of entry into the body. It's going to suggest some PPE from us as well. Again, just make sure that this is correct. It's going to pull all the control measures from the MSDS and put it into here. Again, just make sure that these are correct. And if you're happy with it, then you can just sign it off at the end. Click complete assessment. And here we have our COSHH assessment for liquid bleach. So if we were to download that and open it up, this is what we get. So again, company name and logo at the top, COSHH risk assessment, that reference that we put in at the beginning, substance name, and then all the details for that substance in there. So you've got a really nice, clear COSHH assessment that's taken less than a minute, less than 2 minutes to produce. Let's have a look at the training section. So in here, you can see there's not much in here at the moment. If we've uploaded our employee details correctly and put the training into there, the first time we come into this section, what we can do is click auto populate. This is going to pull all the information from that employee file section and then add it into our training matrix, which you can see it has done. It's added some certificates for me and entered the other employees there. There's not much in the training bin for these people. That's why it's not pulled much across. As you can see, if any of your certificates have expired, that will be noted on here. And the certificates that do have expiration dates on them, when it comes to the expiry of them, that will change then to expired and you'll get a notification in your notification center to let you know as well. If you need to add anything to this, we can add rows and columns. So if you add a row, that's going to be the employee name. So that'll add a row for that person. And then if you need to add any certificates, we would press on add column and then you can put in the certificate type there. That's going to give you another column. If we need to delete anyone, we can. And then once we're done, we can download this like everything else as a PDF. It's going to give us our company name and logo and then a training matrix. Also living within the training tab is the Toolbox Talk section. So when we come into here, if we want to complete a Toolbox Talk, we're going to go into Browse Templates. We've got a few Toolbox Talks loaded into the system now. Say we want to complete asbestos awareness. Here you've got the topic of the talk, the date, and you can assign employees to that talk and then create and collect their signatures. So they can either do this through your account if you're delivering this in person now, or they can go into their own account and they'll have a notification that there's something required for them to sign. so they can save their signature, and then we can download this. Asbestos awareness, talk content, and then you'll see we only collected the one signature there, so that's just the one. Toolbox talks will be added by us to this template library over time, so we'll grow that into a much larger library. But if you do have a requirement to deliver a custom talk, you can do that by clicking on the plus custom talk. Just put in your title, topic, and then what you want to talk about. And the same as before, then you just assign your employees to that, and they can sign it off. Inspections and audits can be conducted at any time by going into your Inspections and Audits tab here. You want to start a new inspection. We've got several templates loaded into the system. So you've got a client site. This would be more of a domestic setting, a construction site, and then your main office. So you can just select whichever is relevant, fill out the details, and start this inspection. And then you're going to see it's simple, pass, fail, not applicable. Complete the inspection. That will save it. If there's anything, that's been picked up on the inspection that wasn't satisfactory, that's going to come into your actions tracker here for somebody to be able to action and then acknowledge that that has actually been completed. And then we've got internal audits. So mainly probably we will use this to audit your company. And again, we've a couple of different ones. So we can test we can audit how you're using the system, and then a more general compliance audit as well. Once they're complete, they're just going to live in here. If you're a company that uses subcontractors, you can add your subcontractors into the SafeGuard system. Just do that by clicking on add subcontractor, and then nice and straightforward, just fill out their details in here. Once you've loaded a subcontractor into the system, you can come on to see their details, see which accreditations they hold, see the assessment that they've completed, any documents relating to this subcontractor. So for example, if you were to put their insurance in here, again, that's got an expiry date on there, so that would give you a notification in your notification center. Any inspections that you do on this subcontractor, and then you can delete them if you need to from here as well. If your company holds accreditations, this is where they will live. You'll just drop your certificate into the top section here, and then your accreditations would all show below here. This will have expiration dates on there, so as that renewal time is approaching, you're going to get reminders into your notification center. The last tab on the menu is the rewards tab. So within here, you can refer people to the SafeGuard system, and you can earn some Amazon vouchers for doing so. So the first person that you refer, you will get a £200 Amazon voucher. For the second person that you refer, they'll get a £500 Amazon voucher. And if you're able to refer 3 people, you'll get the 200, the 500 and a £1,000 Amazon voucher. Details on exactly how this works are below, so have a read through those. And if you've got a referral to make, just get in touch with the company, give them our details, which you can find up here, ask them to get in touch with us and tell them that you've referred us. And if they become a full SafeGuard member, then you will be entitled to your rewards here. The very last thing that I want to cover is just, again, at the bottom here, click your drop down and come on to report an issue. If you have any issues with the system, something's broken, or just not working as you'd expect, whatever it is, you can report this within here. If you'd like any new features to be added, you can also request this. Just fill out the details here and submit that report. That's going to send it to us. That covers your introduction to the SafeGuard system. If you have any questions, please get in touch with us. It's 03333 208 568 or info@workplacesafetygroup.co.uk.